y'all, Irix Guy here, and I want to do an initial impressions video of the Relife, Rebuild Your Life bench. Now you can expand this video's description and then click the link there to find where to order it online. Also, I'll flash up a card in the corner of this video where you can find my assembly video. I videoed the entire assembly process step by step. It took a while. I think the video is probably almost an hour long, but there wasn't anything overly challenging, and I did it all by myself. So this is just the first impressions video. We're going to show you what all this bench is capable of. It can go down so you can get a decline. You can see that's the most declined position right there. We're going to demonstrate this with the dumbbells in a second. Then you've got several other options. You can do this, which is flat. You've got the next level up, which is that incline. You've got the next, which is that incline. You got this incline, and then you've got that incline. And there is another ridge, but it's vertical. I don't know if you're supposed to use it or not, but if that ridge was used, it's like that. But that's still not a 90-degree angle, so I think this is probably the most straight up and down. Now, I'm 6'2". At the time of filming this, I got fat, man. I haven't been to the gym since March because of the pandemic. So I'm getting kind of fat, so I weigh like 220, but I'm 6'2". So how does this fit someone that's 6'2"? So this is the flat position. And see, I can put, now that my head's almost at the top of the bench, but this will be flat position. So let me just get the dumbbells. For demonstration purposes, I'm just going to get some silly amount of weight. I'm going to do 25 pounds. Or let's just do 20, why not? Just to be goofy. So I got 20 pounds. It is worth mentioning, this bench matches these weights. The reason I got this bench is because I was going to get, when I got these Bowflex, let me make sure I hit record on that. I think I did. Yeah, I did. I would have felt dumb if I hadn't hit record. So, yeah. So for flat bench, you can see right here, it's plenty sturdy. I don't have any wobble. That was one of the things that sold me on this bench, because finding a good at-home bench is difficult. Because, they're in high demand right now because of the pandemic. So, that works fine. The flat's fine. Again, I'm 6'2". Now I'm going to show the incline. So let's just do a slide in. Well, the slide incline would be this right here. The next step up would be this. When I do incline, I'm probably going to do about like this. So, for incline, you can see my position, my butt, my head. This is fine. It's plenty big enough for me. The bench itself does not wobble. That was one of the things that I was reading. A lot of benches, the customers were saying that they wobbled. This one, I don't have any wobble. The construction of this bench, I felt was very solid. There's some other ones I was looking at online that just didn't have the reassuring build quality. The build quality of this seems fine. So see, now we can take it to the uppermost position. You can see this is fine. I'm seriously out of shape, by the way. This is not a lot of weight, but yeah, because I hadn't been in the gym since March, man. I'm like, I gotta do something. So now let's do decline. So this is going to be interesting. Now see, this piece right here, this is one disappointing part. See, I can't really get my knees in there. So if you're looking at this and you were thinking that you could, use this for like a sit-up bench or something, unless you've got really skinny legs, you're probably going to find that you're going to be disappointed. It is worth mentioning this is adjustable. It'll go up or down. Let's try this just for curiosity's sake. So it's got a thumb screw here. That was in the lowest position. But what if we do this? See how it was angled up? What if we went this way? Let's see if this makes a difference. So now I went in the topmost position, but I angled it down. Let's see if that gives us any more comfort there. Again, this is my initial impressions video. I just assembled it. So check out my assembly video step by step. But this may be, doing it that way may give us a little bit more. Yeah, actually it does. Oh yeah. So again, not something I don't think I would use this for sit-ups, but let's see, well, before we get these weights, let's lean back. Yeah, that's not comfortable. So will I be using this as a decline bench? I don't think I'm going to be using this as a decline bench. Because typically with the decline bench, at least at the gym, I've got a decline bench that has reassuring, pieces there that, when you lean back, keeps you kind of locked in. With this, especially if I had those weights in my hands, I hate to say it, but for the decline functionality, it's not for me. For the flat, for the incline, for the shoulder presses, perfect. No complaints there. So, this is a good bench. But again, don't expect everything, especially at this price point. And you can expand this video's description and then click the link there to find where to order it online. But yeah, this is sturdy. It doesn't wobble. I'll be able to get my flat. I'll be able to get my incline. I'll be able to get my shoulder presses without having to pay a gym membership. So, with that being the case, there's a lot of value here. Again, as silly as it sounds, it does match. Well, the red's slightly a different color, but the black and the red does somewhat match the Bowflex Selectex. And actually, the Bowflex Selectech bench was the one that I was originally going to order, but because it was on back order, I had to find other options, and I found this one. The material's nice. There is a gap right there that people mentioned. When you're doing it as, upright position, you're not going to notice that gap. Or even if you're doing an incline position, such as this, it'll be a minimal gap. Still a minimal gap. Still somewhat minimal. But then when you go to flat, there's about that much. It doesn't bother me, but again, everybody's got a different body type. It may be something that, that gap may bother you. So if it does, that could be a deal breaker. Or what you could do, if you're using it flat, just put you like a towel or something, wrap it up, and put your towel in there to fill that gap. And then of course, again, when you're using it as an incline or, a military press type bench, the gap's not going to be noticeable. But if you go flat, if it bothers you, which again, it doesn't bother me, but if it bothers you, put you a towel or something in there to just fill that gap with padding while you're working out. But overall, good build quality. And the assembly process, again, I didn't find anything. There was one little piece, and I didn't miss any. I wasn't missing any parts, by the way. And this came with the wrenches for assembly, so I didn't have to use any of my own tools. It came with everything. Wasn't missing any parts. There was one bolt that I felt could have been a little bit longer, but even with that being the case, everything went together fine. You'll see that within my assembly video. It is worth mentioning the seat. is adjustable. It's got this quick disconnect piece, so your seat can go, so you go up like this. So see, that's kind of angled up. I guess if you were doing decline, well, hey, let's try that. Let's try decline with the seat angled back like that and see if that makes a difference. Let's try this too. Let's flip this around. Because I'd love to be able to use the decline. Again, and it's got decline, it's just for your body type, it may be fine. And it's worth mentioning, this, if you wanted to take off, it's just that thumb screw. You could take it off and leave it off if you wanted to. So let's see. Now, see, I've just, I'm determined to make this decline work for me. Let's see. What if we do this? What if we do the middle? Well, you know what? I stand corrected. I'm doing crunches on this thing. Let's see, let's put it up. So again, see, this is angled, so I'm angling it down. Now we're in the topmost position, angled down. I'm so out of shape. I'm so fat. But I'm motivated. Ugh. 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 So there you go. This does work for sit-ups. And again, I just had to tweak the adjustment. I put in the topmost, angled down, and for me being 6'2", it works fine. Now, do I have the warm and fuzzies about using it as a decline weight bench? It just feels unnatural for me. It may be fine for you, but to lean back, it's not because it feels poor quality. It's just it's not a... There's only a few gyms where I use a decline bench, and the ones that I use, I don't know what the difference is. It's hard to explain, but that, for me, it's just, it's not going to be comfortable for decline. But I can do my sit-ups. So now, we'll adjust this seat. This seat can go flat, which, let's see, that would be slightly elevated. Flat will be right here. It's got 3 settings. So the flat setting is here. Of course, the seat goes in and out with this little push-pull pin type thing. So So obviously no tools required to adjust the seat. So for my purposes, just to recap, the way I'm going to use this bench is what we just did. So I would angle the seat and I would use it for sit-ups to get rid of my fat gut. I would use it as a flat bench. I would then use it probably about right here as my incline bench. And then for my military press, right there. So I've got shoulders. I've got pecs with an incline. Pecs, about flat. And for you, depending upon your body type, you may find that, hey, you may find that decline works for you. And you may be able to be comfortable doing that. For my body type, decline just didn't feel natural. So it's a great bench. Let me think of what else I wanted to point out. So we've talked about the little ankle thing, whatever you call it. That's adjust, you can move it in 3 different points. You can angle it down or angle it up. The seat is adjustable, 3 different points. You've got here, which is flat, and then you can take it up 2 notches. The back, as we demonstrated, is adjustable. The overall build quality of this thing, this is kind of a, I don't know what you would call it, it's a fake type leather, but it seems to have quality stitching. The material does not feel thin, and that's something in a photo or a video, it's hard to tell, is that material thin? When I assembled this, you can see there's next to no wobble. I mean, it's sturdy, dude. That's, and the back of it is, I'll turn it around here so you can see the back. The back, the build quality is, let's see, let me put these out of the way. So the back, oh, and that's the other thing. This thing is small enough and light enough if you needed to move it around. You could move it to another bedroom or whatever. One thing I found with benches, competitors' benches, is that a lot of them touted, like easily foldable for storage. When I see something like that, I think of something that has a lot of less high-end parts to enable it to be, broken down for transport or hide in a corner or whatever. So for that reason, I purposely avoided those. This one, it's small enough and it's light enough where you could even, have somebody else help you carry it. It's narrow enough to go through most common doorways. What I'll do is just put it in the garage while it's not in use. But see, this right here is the adjuster. So see, you've got the up top position. These look like very solid welds. And then you've got the next level, and then the next level, the next level, and then you go down to flat, which is there. So, good quality construction. The feet, they came with these rubberized type ends. Didn't even have to pop them on, they were already popped on. I felt the way they packaged this to ship was very nice. Most of the components were individually wrapped. The tools and all the hardware was in a shrink wrap type piece of cardboard that underneath the shrink wrap had a number so you would know which part was which part. The instructions, although easy to follow, they could have done a better job with breaking apart the steps. I felt they had too many steps, too many things to do within each step. And I can understand why they did. They were trying to save money by not using as much paper. But they could have done a better job of that. Fortunately, I put together a step-by-step assembly video for the Relife. So you can watch my step-by-step video and hopefully it'll enable you to assemble it just like I did. I'm impressed. Again, just another additional impressions thing. When you're tightening the bolts, when you're assembling especially the seat back and the butt part of the seat, kind of push with your hand to make that tight, and then, thumb tighten, and then use the tools. Don't over tighten because you don't want to crack this, but get it nice and tight. See, there's no wiggle, there's no wobble. So I'm impressed with the build quality, and I didn't just rush out and buy this. I mean, I originally had ordered the Bowflex bench, which was a lot more expensive. And by the way, expand this video's description and then click the link there, and you can find where to order this online as well as the current pricing. But I felt it was very affordable. It was a fraction of the price of the Bowflex bench, or the, I'd also looked at I think it was Nordic Track, and yeah, the price on this I felt was right. But I didn't want to get something too cheap to where I felt like I was buying something that's gonna crack. Now, and that led me to the next thing. Well, what if something catastrophic happens with this bench? Well, worst case, I'm going to be using dumbbells. So let's say this failed here, my back would go back, and I'd go back with the dumbbells. If it failed in let's say a flat bench position, let's say those welds broke or this piece broke, it's probably only going to go that far. So again, nothing's guaranteed in life. But for peace of mind, for me, I was thinking, okay, if this breaks, what metal piece is gonna try to, run through me? I mean, to be graphic about it, man, you don't want to use something that you feel could be a hazard. And that was something with other brands of benches that I was researching. Some of them were very cheap, some of them were even more expensive, but some of those reviews, and reviews are often not to be trusted, but some of those reviews, some of the things they said, and some of the photos they included really concerned me. And with this, I didn't see that. So, I'm looking for something that's, not cheap, but not super expensive, because ultimately, man, I want this pandemic to go away, and I want to be able to sell all this gym equipment and go back to the gym. I enjoy the gym. I'm more motivated. I'm around people, and I'm more motivated. But while this pandemic's here, you'd have to be crazy to consider going into a small, confined space where people are breathing heavily in a small and confined space and touching shared objects in a small and confined space. Unfortunately, the virus is real. So it's, given the situation, the pandemic, I feel that this, and again, these are my initial impressions, so stay tuned for my follow-up videos. But my initial impressions of this bench are highly positive. It took me, watch my assembly video for step-by-step, no edits. You can see every second of the fun. It took, almost an hour to assemble. And this is what you see. I filmed this right after assembly, man. I got a glass of water, drank that, and I filmed this video because I know that the initial impressions video is super important. And if you don't film an initial impressions video right after you assemble a product, that if you don't film it right after that, you probably won't film it. And if you don't, and then you do it later, it's not really an initial impressions video because you've had time with it. I've had no time with this. I've assembled it, I filmed this video. So tell me what you think within the comment section below. Again, best of luck with your weight loss goals. I know that I've gotten fat because of the pandemic, and this is one tool to enable me to not only get thin again, but to build that muscle back. Because all I've been doing my indoor exercise bike. Check out my Schwinn IC4 videos with Zwift. That's been great cardio. I'm still fat, but I'm starting to get the cardio and get back on the exercise wagon. And this will be the strength training toning piece, because with a set of dumbbells, with a pair of dumbbells rather, and a bench, you can do a ton of workouts. And again, I don't care for the exhaustive multi-$1,000 home gym. That's not my objective. My objective is to be able to have at least a somewhat decent strength training workout, and again, with my Schwinn IC4, have a cardio workout so I don't just get totally out of shape during the pandemic. Ultimately be able to trim down, get some muscle definition back, and get through the pandemic, and then join the gym again, sell this stuff, after the pandemic comes to a close, and get back to the gym when it's safe to do that. So hope this video helped. Ask any questions you may have, and I'll be happy to try to demonstrate, or perform a video response for any of your questions, because I'm curious what you want to ask, and it's probably stuff I haven't thought of either. But just to recap, my only minor gripe as an initial impression is the inability to, for me, for my body shape or height, whatever, the height of this is fine. Me being 6'2", this is fine. But for some reason, using it as a decline bench, just for me, and it may not for you, but for me, it feels a little bit awkward. So that's my only minor gripe. But I was pleasantly surprised, as you saw within this video, that I was able to adjust those little ankle piece, whatever you call it, the pads. I was able to adjust that, and I was able to achieve sit-ups on this bench. And that's super important, because if you look at a sit-up bench, you don't want one of those cheap ones because they'll fall apart on you. But a quality sit-up bench, and it's just pretty much for the sole purpose of doing sit-ups, they're going to set you back several $100s. And and that's another piece of equipment that you got to have alongside. So being able to get, for me, being able to get the sit-up functionality, being able to get the flat, the decline, and the military press positions, and not have something that's wobbling around on the the cushions or the feet, something that's sturdy and is able to give me a reassuring feel. Dude, this is a no-brainer. I mean, this initial impressions is great. Again, if something messes up, I post everything on my channel, the good, the bad, the ugly, whatever. So, this is just the initial impressions, and I'm glad I bought this, and the assembly didn't wear me out. And yeah, man, tell me what you think within the comment section below. And again, if you're looking for a good bench, expand this video's description, and then click the link there, and you can find where to order this bench online, as well as my other stuff. I've got links to the Schwinn IC4 that I use, and other fitness equipment that I use. I am fat, but that's because of the pandemic, and I eat and drink whatever I want to. But with that being said, I want to work out, and this is just one of many tools in my arsenal during the pandemic to tone and to help me lose weight. Thanks for your viewership. Be sure to subscribe, youtube.com/IrixGuy, and ring that bell icon when you do to be notified whenever I post another video. Y'all have a good day. Hey y'all, Captain IrixGuy here. I hope y'all enjoyed this video. If you did, please be sure to subscribe. It's youtube.com/IrixGuy, and ring that bell icon when you do to be notified whenever I post another video. Thanks for your viewership, and y'all have a good day.